It has a lot of pictures. You will see Paete before Japanese burnt it and after. You can borrow it if you want. My parents' wedding. Here's our house. You can see the mountain with the 3 crosses at the top. The mayor has them illuminated at night. Will you be going to the Philippines for your book?
I would like to.
I could go with you and give you a tour of Paete and the province of Laguna.
It's very kind of you. Carmelita never talked about the Japanese occupation.
They knew they were losing. The leaders of the guerrilla were singled out.
I've read about a Japanese strategy called Zona. What did that consist of?
It was like a dragnet, what fishermen use.
What do you mean?
The local males were herded in one place. They were searching for guerrillas.
Tell me more, please.
They used the parish church to incarcerate suspected guerrillas. Prisoners were slapped, kicked, deprived of sleep, and subjected to water torture. You could hear the scream from St. James the Apostles' Church. The sacristy were filled of prisoners. For days, the Japanese kept a white priest tied on the post, refusing to give him food or drink, like Christ died on the cross.
Were there Japanese in your town before the war broke out?
There was a Japanese boy in the oldest sister's class. When the teacher announced that the Japanese had invaded the Philippines, he rose and said to his classmates, "Even if I am Japanese, I will not hurt or kill you. I am your brother."
How old were you then?
3 years. A pity my sister had passed away. She could tell you a lot more than me. She was already a teacher when the war ended.
Your family went into hiding, right?
The Japanese were looking for my father.
Was your father in the resistance?
In the Philippines, we called it guerrilla.
Sorry.
There was a bad guerrilla too.
What do you mean?
We called them makapili, with a bag on their head with slots for their eyes. They would point out the Filipinos who were anti-Japanese.
So one day your family went to live in the mountains?
Only my father, my brother, and my sisters and I, we stayed in town with my mother. Mama was so scared. Japanese soldiers kept knocking at the door.
Asking for your father?
He was on a wanted list. They were asking for food too.
Were you afraid of them?
They were nice to the children. One day, a Japanese soldier put me on his lap.
Was your mother there? What did she do?
He probably had a family back home and was missing his children. Mother must have reported this story to my father or someone else, because shortly after that, we joined our father.
How did you survive all that time in the mountains?
When people realized the Japanese were coming, they prepared to go into hiding.
What kind of preparations?
Months ahead of the occupation, Paete families started planting fruit trees, vegetable, and tobacco plants for cigarettes. I could send you a list of what we are eating during our time away from the home in Paete.
Oh, thank you.
My grandfather dug a pond to raise fish. Unlike the people in Manila, we didn't starve.
Yesterday on the phone you mentioned a fire.
The Japanese couldn't burn it all on the first day. On the following night, they returned and burned the remaining houses. When we got back to town, we all stayed in one of these stone buildings that didn't burn. We were like sardines at that time. At least 12 families stayed there.
Why did they do that?
The Americans were already in Manila by then.
What happened to Carmelita's parents' house?
They had already left.
Where did they go, Trinidad?
Pasay, south of Manila. She didn't tell you?
She never gave me a straight answer.
That must be because of her medication. May she rest in peace.